Hello students and welcome to this video for publisher exercise number 14. So you can see here I'm just chilling with some chinchillas and we're going to be talking about working with objects, specifically aligning them, distributing them, flipping them, rotating, nudging, and then of course layering them as well, because you're going to be working with, of course, objects is basically anything you insert into your publication, but specifically with images and shapes as well as what we're going to be working with today. So first thing we need to cover, of course, is aligning the objects. Now, if I want to align an object, what I can do is if I click on the picture, now there is the Arrange group here on the Home tab. I can also go to Format under Picture Tools and see it as well, and I can choose Align. And what you're going to do, you're going to want to have Relative to Margin Guide selected. So I had it already selected. If it's looking like this, that means it's not selected, because usually when you're aligning it, it's based off your margin guidelines. So if you're going to be changing your margins to a different one, you want to do it at the beginning so that way your pictures are lined up properly, because if you line everything up and then you switch your margins, it's going to mess it up. So make sure your margins are set first and then do this part with it. I can click the align button, and of course there's different options here. You can see it's doing it based off of up and down, so align center vertically, and of course this is horizontal, so I could choose to align it with the center here in between these two sides. I could align it directly to the right, and you can see it goes and snaps to the margin guideline. So any of those things I can do to align it. So you can see right now it's kind of left, right, and then center down here. Okay, so there's that option to align things. Of course, you can also distribute objects. So say I have everything all kind of in one spot. So all my pictures are kind of stuck together here. It's hard to see a little bit. So what I can do, if I want to distribute them, when you select 3 or more objects, so I'm holding down Control and clicking, and you can see I have all 3 selected. When I go to the line option here in Arrange, I have distribute as an option as well now. You can distribute it horizontally, so you can see it split them up this way. One's in the middle, one's on the left, one's on the right. And I can do it again, align vertically. And now you can see it's split up. One's in the middle at the top, one's at the left on the middle of the page, and then right. So that's a good option of if you want to arrange it in a way that's visually pleasing. It's not all clumped on one side. It's not too heavy, so to speak. The eyes aren't going to be focused in on just one spot. So that's why you would use distribute. You also have the option to flip objects. So if I say my picture for some reason when I get it is the wrong way, so maybe it's flipped, it's upside down, and I want to fix it. So I can click on the picture, choose rotate, and flip it vertically or even horizontally. You can see there's that option as well. So that's a good way to fix it there. That's most of the time why you would use it. Maybe you're trying to make a certain image or picture, and so you do it that way too. And of course for rotating objects, I mean, we are doing it, but there's also free rotate as well. There's 90 degrees so that you can see it's that idea of it's flipping it almost on side. So if I click it, you can see he's now rotated 90 degrees. Do it again like that. It's almost like a clock with its it's 4 quarters. So there's that as well. They do talk about nudging an object. That's basically when you click on one and you can push the arrow key. It moves it by 0.13 inches. So very small movement. It's very subtle. So I'll put my magnifier on it. So each time you push an arrow key. So if you need to be a little bit more precise with it, sometimes it's hard when you're using the mouse. Of course too, if you want to make yourself more precise in moving an object with the mouse, zoom in. So right now I have it 100%. I could double this, zoom it into 200%. It'll help me be more precise. With my magnifier, I'm already there at 200% with that. Alright, so that's nudging. And then of course object layering. So sometimes you want to put them all in a group and then kind of have it so they overlap a little bit. So I'm going to try to do this. Let's put this picture here, put this one here, like this. Now you can kind of see I want this one in the back, this one in the middle, and then this one probably the one that sticks out the most. So what I can do is I can select this picture and I go to my Arrange group and I can send it backward or forward. So I can click on this once, it'll move it 1 layer back, or I can select this and tell it send to back. And then of course this one is right where it needs to be, but I want to move this one up forward, so I can click that. Now it's still cutting my picture off a little bit, and this one as well. So I'm going to rearrange this a little bit here. so that way the chinchilla is still visible there. And then I'm going to move this one up here as well, like this. So you see they all kind of overlap each other. This one's at the back, this one's in the middle, and this one is at the front. And you do this all with the arrange group. So you've probably used this before working with Microsoft Office, but we're being more in depth with it this time around. Alright, so that's how you do that, the different skills. So let's actually get into the exercise. So let's open up Pub 34. Pub 34. So we're going to be talking about some all-star volunteers, apparently. Let's save it here with a new name. So File, Save As, and then of course we're choosing Browse. You're going to the folder you need to save it to, or your flash drive, and we're naming it 34 Awards. So apparently they volunteer somewhere and they're being awarded for what they do. Now right now you can kind of see the pictures are a little bit off with alignment. You can see the text is kind of not lined up either. It's a little bit off. Some of you, when we worked on our PowerPoint presentations, instead of just letting the text box do its work, you had so many different text boxes and placeholders. Your alignment was a little bit off. So this is good for you, because if you do that kind of thing again, you know how to easily fix it. Alright, so it says top align the pictures with one another and distribute them horizontally. So basically let's select all three. So let's align them so that way, not necessarily align center vertically, but middle. So you can see now they're all lined up this way. And then we do need to distribute them horizontally. So we want this guy in the very middle of the page. We want this guy on the left side here, and then her over in the right side. So I choose align, distribute, I need, and horizontally. And two, they give you a little picture so that way you can kind of see it as well. So that's a little bit better here. You can see now it's put how it needs to be. Alright, it says crop the pictures as needed so they're all the same height. So what we can do, let me click on format. Let's see what the height is. I'm going to go with the smallest picture here, so I'm going to click away from all of them. Okay, so his is 3.13. So we're going to put that for these two as well. So let's try. I selected all three of them. I click up here in the height box. Remember, this is in your picture tools format. 3.13, quotation marks, and push enter. And you can see now it's adjusted it. And now because I adjusted the height, I'm going to align it again. So align. Oh, that's not what I want. Or I guess it did align. Hang on, let me try it again here. So we do want to align it so that it is balanced with the center here, and then let's distribute it again horizontally. Oh, no, that's not it. Let's select this one, align. Oh, okay, we got to select relative to page margins. No, that's not what I want. Okay, now they're lined up together like that, and let's distribute them horizontally again. Okay, that's better. Okay, so if you saw, I went through, clicked on each one, chose a line, and did middle. So you can see like that. And then once they were all lined up together, I went and distributed. I pulled them down a little bit like that. So that's how we get it. If you need to, go back, watch it again, so you can see it. All right, and then what we need to do, we need to use Align Center to align each caption beneath its picture and then group the picture with the caption. So we need to line this up under it and then group it with the caption. So we're going to do that again here. We should be able to click and drag this actually, and you can see I'm lining it up with the picture, except I need it to be lined up with the middle of the picture. So I'm going to do it like this. So you drag it till you get the pink line, And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click and hold down on this again. I'm going to bring it up here, line it up. You'll notice it's lining up with the middle of the picture and also with the other text that's over there, like that. And again, I'm going to click over here, bring this up. It's lined up with the text. Now I'm going to move it over so that way it's lined up also with the middle of the picture. And I let go. So those pink lines are going to come up and help you with lining it up. Now what I'm going to do here is, I think I'm actually going to nudge this one over just a little bit because it looks like just the size of the letters make it. Now it wants you to group the caption and the picture together. So I already have this one selected. I'm going to hold down Control and click on the picture. And I'm going to go up here to Group and click on it. And you'll notice it put them together now as a group. I could select these two and move them together. And I'm going to do the same thing for this. So I click on the text, hold down Control, click on the picture, and I choose Group. And then same thing for this. I click on the text, click on the picture, holding down Control, and choose Group. So all three now are in a group. So that's good. We're almost there now. Alright, it says select all three pictures and the word art, group it into a single object. We did that. It says center the object vertically and horizontally in relation to the margin guidelines. So we already kind of did that step before here with it, so we're going to leave it. Alright, it says behind the leftmost picture, so this one right here of Henry, it says place the explosion to auto shape as shown in illustration A. So let's click on shapes here. You can go down to stars and banners, and explosion 2 is this one right here. So down at the bottom, stars and banners. Explosion 2 is right there. Let's select that, and they said put it behind the leftmost picture. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go actually about right here, click and hold down. I'm going to drag this out here. I want the spike to come actually past the name a little bit here, and I want to drag this out here so it actually sticks out even more. So you'll see how it looks here in a minute once I drop it. Okay, so you can see it's about this big. Now I don't have a fill for it yet, so I have to do that. Of course, you may have to adjust it. So I want to bring it up. I want you to get this as close as possible here to mine. Okay, so I'm going to bring it so that you can see basically this first spike is touching, almost touching star up here, and then we need to bring this out a little bit more so you can see it's poking. This side is touching the picture here, and this explosion, even a little bit more. This one's sticking out a little bit. So up here is touching this, this here, and then this, and then I'm going to put this so it's going even further back here. So it should look like this. Now we're going to send it backwards so that way it's not messing with our text. Okay. And then I have to do that a couple times. And we're going to fill it in here with a bright yellow. So let's go to Shape Fill. We're going to choose yellow. And that'll work right there. Alright, so we did that. It says copy it, flip it horizontally, and place it behind the rightmost picture. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. So I'll do Control V to paste. You can see it's here. We need to flip it, aka rotate it. So I'm going to go to Rotate. We're going to flip it horizontally. So flip horizontally. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put it behind the rightmost picture. So it's going to go, and we're going to have it kind of almost touching the E's. So let's move it up a little bit more here, like that. You'll notice it's messing with the text right now as we place it. So it's going to do that. Let's send it backwards. So I'm going to click this a couple times. And there you go. You should have the explosions looking like that. So the pictures need to be lined up. They should all be in a group. Remember, if you need to, if there's something there as opposed to just saying wait out loud, go back a few seconds. Or if you need to, slow it down. You have those options here with it being on YouTube. So go back and watch a few seconds if something wasn't clear to you. Otherwise, this is how you do this step here. We do need to save it and print. So I did save. I'm going to do print, of course, Microsoft Print to PDF. So you got to select that printer and then choose print. Of course, you're going to save it with the same name. So 34 awards underscore your initials. And then, of course, save your work. And you can exile this publication because we're going to be making a new one. So I'm going to do close. And then we already did save it, but sure, why not? All right, we're going to choose new because it says to create a new blank one. So just a blank normal one like this. It says choose a piece of clip art and insert it, then copy the clip art twice and place the copies side by side. So again, piece of clip art and insert it, then copy it twice and place the copies side by side. So I'll show you that in case. So of course you're going to get online pictures. Pick something that's appropriate, something you could look at or talk about in class. So we're going to do we'll do Captain, not Avenger, America. We don't want any spoilers, of course. This picture's going to be big. It's taking its time. Okay, there we go. I'm going to make this smaller for the sake of actually seeing it properly. Alright, so we got Captain America. It said to copy it, and we're going to need to paste it 2 times. So you can have 3 Captain Americas total. Okay. It said place them side by side. Alright. Then top align the copies and distribute them horizontally. So we need to top align them. So align. So you can see align top. And then distribute them horizontally. So we have that. It says flip the middle copy horizontally. So here's the middle one. Let's flip it, flip it horizontally. So you can see it's flipped. And then, of course, the right copy vertically. So I click on that one, rotate vertical. I'm going to do this too. It didn't necessarily do it the way I wanted. Select the individual, choose relative to margins, and let's align that to the left. Let's align this one to the center. And let's click on this one and align it to the right. So it looks like we have to actually go through and select and make sure all of them are set to the margin. So anyways, this is horizontally, this one's vertically. Then it says place a different auto shape, each filled with a different color of fill behind each picture as a background. So I'm going to let you do that on your own. So again, pick one of the auto shapes, aka here, and put it as a background behind each picture. Each one should have a different color or other fill. Then place a rectangle over the top of all clips and auto shapes, covering them completely, and then move it to the back so it functions as a background. Okay, so each one is going to need to have a shape behind it, and then you have to have one big rectangle behind all of it as a background. Okay, and you can choose the clip art that you want to put in. Again, just make sure it's appropriate. Put a shape, auto shape behind each one, different fill, and then put that background behind as well. Let me show you what name you're going to save it under first here before we send you off to finish this exercise. So make sure you're saving it to the right folder. We are naming it 34 shapes underscore your initials. 34 shapes underscore your initials. And let me show you those files that you need to submit before you're done here. So the files that you are going to submit for me for exercise 34 are, you have 34 awards, publisher file and PDF, and shapes. So those are the 3 you need to submit. So if you forgot what you need to do with this file, go back and watch it a few seconds later, but basically shape and then big shape covering it as a background. And that's how you complete publisher exercise number 34.